This After Effects tutorial is sponsored by storyblocks.com. In this After Effects tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to create a proper infographic, a proper modern infographic animation inside of After Effects without using any plugins. In the first half of this video, we will take a look at constructing and building up the complete infographic with the slider control and all the expression, and in the second half we will focus on the design and the animation part of this. It's going to be super fun and a very informative tutorial, so make sure you watch the video till the end, and if you have any question, do let me know down in the comment section below. I'm 𝗦𝗂𝗍𝗏 from dopemotions.com, and without any further ado, let's jump into After Effects and get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects, and let's start by creating a new composition. I'll call this info for infographics, 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS and 10 seconds long. Hit OK. And in the first section of this tutorial, we will focus on building up the complete infographics with the controllers and expression. And in the second half, we will focus more on the design aspect of the infographic. So let's start by creating our icon. Now, in this case, I'm using a dollar symbol, but you are free to use any kind of, icon or a symbol that you want. You can even use a logo if you want to. So type in dollars, and for the font, I am using Nixa Black. I'm going to align this into the center. Let's make this big. Let's keep it at around 600. And align this into the center. Now to move the anchor point into the center, I can hold Control and double click on the pan behind tool, just like so. Now let's select the rectangle tool and create a shape just like that. Let's put this at the back, and we need to make sure that the shape is at the same size like our symbol. So I'm going to unlink this and let's bring down this. We can bring this closer as well. Looks good. I'm going to call this matte. And this is going to basically animate our filling up section for the infographic. So I'm going to change the track matte of this to alpha matte. Now let's hit S to bring down the scale properties. Unlink this, and now if I adjust the height, you see it changes the height from the center because our anchor point is set to the center. So we need to move that down at the bottom. So I'm going to select the layer, select the pan behind tool and turn on snapping. And then I'm going to snap the anchor point to the bottom just like so. So now it will animate from the bottom just like that. Let's just properly snap into the place. And yeah, let's set this to 100. All right. Now let's type in our text, that is percentage. So I'm going to type in 100 here for the size, and also type in 100 here. All right, I think 100 is a bit too low. Let's go with 300 or something. Okay, fine. Now we need to animate the percentage of our text. So what I'm going to do is select the layer, go into effects and presets and type in a slider. Let's add a slider control to the 100 text, and now we can link this to a slider control. So let's go into the text properties, hold Alt and click on the stopwatch of the source text, and then link this to the slider control. So now if I move the slider, you can see we can animate the number. So I can go to around, let's say 2 seconds and 15 frames. Let's set this to 60, create a keyframe, go back and set this to 0. So now basically we have a simple animation, but as you can see, it doesn't look proper. We get this decibels, which I don't want. I want this to be a solid number. So we can do that by a simple expression. I'm going to hold Alt and click on the stopwatch of the slider control. And right over here, I'm going to add a simple expression, that is dot value dot to fixed. Open and close parentheses. So this is going to keep the values fixed. Now if I see the animation, you can see we get a solid number, which is pretty nice. Now the second thing that we need to do is link the mat to the slider control. So I'm going to bring that up, lock the effect and control layer, go into mat, hit S, and now I need to link the scale property of this to the slider control. But the problem is we only have one slider control and we have two properties of the text, that is width and height, right? So we only need to link the height. So to do that, I'm going to hold Alt, click on the stopwatch of the scale property, link this to the slider control. But as you can see, it animates as a whole. I only want the height to be affected. So right here we have two properties for temp. That is, the first temp stands for width and the second one stands for height. So for the width, I want this to be 100. So I'm gonna delete the temp and call this 100. And now it's only gonna affect the height, which is super easy. And now I can actually select the 100 text, hit U, go here, and let's add a marker settings, and I'll call this change value. So whenever we need to change the value, I will drag my time indicator at this marker and then make any changes that I want. So you can see everything is now linked properly. So I'll set this, I'll set this to 60, and our linking process is done. Now we can go ahead and focus on the design. So let's select the mat first of all, and I'll place everything into the proper position. So I'm going to turn on title action save. Let's select these two layers. I'm going to move them and let's place it right over here or something. For this, I'll move this one right here. For this text, actually, I'm gonna change this to a different one. So I'll use maybe something like Gilroy. That would look really good. I think let's go with a Gilroy heavy. Yeah, that looks much better. And then I can hit Control D to duplicate it. And let's get rid of all these slider controls that we have here. Duplicate it. Let's get rid of the slider control that we have. Then select the text tool and I'm going to type in the percentage here. We can place this right over here like so. Let's align them properly. So we have a simple animation which looks good. Now, before we proceed further with this tutorial, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Storyblocks. As an editor, how much time have you wasted looking for that perfect video clip? Or maybe that perfect music for your videos, or a simple graphic animation? As an editor, don't you wish there was a simple and affordable way to find the clips and graphics for your projects? What if I told you there is? There is Storyblocks. Storyblocks offers thousands of studio quality and royalty-free stock video clips, After Effects templates, motion graphics backgrounds, intros, and so much more. Everything is royalty-free, so you can use it for your commercial projects or for your own YouTube videos, which is super awesome. Storyblocks offers affordable subscription plans that scale to meet your needs, and a new video editing tool called Maker. I use Storyblocks myself for my client projects because with their unlimited all-access plan, I can download unlimited assets and use Maker, and I only have to pay a single price per year. So go ahead and check out storyblocks.com/dopemotions or click the first link in the description below. And now what we can do is select the $sign, hit Control D to duplicate it, turn that on, put this at the back. We can change this color to a different one so we know that this is the back layer. Alright, so there we go. Now let's add some color to the matte. So I'm going to select the matte layer, go into Effects and Preset, and I'm going to add a gradient ramp. Alright, let's swap the colors and let's bring this point right here and this one right over here. Let's change this one to a light green color and this one to much more prominent green that we can go with. So that looks good, I think. Maybe something like a yellowish tint, more of a yellowish tint. That looks good. And this one for like this color. All right, and then we will add a drop shadow in order to create a very nice spill on this. So I'm going to put the drop shadow on the top. Let's pull up the intensity all the way up to 100, and let's set the distance to 0 and increase the softness a bit, so something like 220, and you can see we get this really nice spill of, which looks kind of a glow, and we get this really nice fill. Now let's go ahead and add in our text. So I'm bring down the size, and for the font I will be using a Babes new bold, which looks pretty good. And let's type in our text. Now you can of course type in anything you want. So there we have our text. Let's change the paragraph alignment to left, and I'll adjust this a bit. There we go. We increase the size a bit. All right, let's pull everything up together, and I'm going to move this just like so. Now for the background, I'm going to hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid called this BG for background. Put this at the back, and go into fix and preset, type in fill. Let's add a fill to this and add a nice background color. So I'm gonna go with something like this one. I think looks pretty good. Now let's create a new null object because I want to scale the $sign. I think it's a bit too small for my liking, so I'm going to select these 3 layers and pattern them to the null object and scale the null object, so everything scales up really well. And I can hide that for now. So we have something like that, looking pretty good. And now let's go ahead and add some accent to this. So I'm going to select the $sign, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, put this at the back. Let's actually move right here, set this to stroke, and set the stroke to around 2 pixels. I can scale this up really nice and big. Maybe 2 pixels is a bit too much, 1.5 or something, or maybe 1. Yep, that looks good. And we can actually copy paste the gradient ramp that we have. Control C, Control V, and I'll place this one here and this point right over here. And then for the overlay, I will be using a video from Storyblocks that I just downloaded. I'm gonna drag and drop it here, scale that down because it's a 4K video, and then bring down the opacity really low, like 10%. So we have a nice video going on in the background. So now our design is ready. Now we can go ahead and animate this basically. So let's close the parent and link in the stretch option for now, or we can simply hit F4 and let's go ahead and animate this. So I'm going to hide everything as of now and animate things one by one. So first of all, we have the background that we need to animate. So I'm going to select the background, hit F4, change the track matte to alpha matte. And so I'm going to go to 1 second, select the background layer, hit P to bring down the position, create a keyframe, go back and drag this out like so. And then I'm going to bring down the video and change the track matte of this to alpha matte, so our video gets revealed with the slide. And I'll select this, hit Control D and put 1 copy at the back. So we have the background as well, looking pretty nice. Now with this, I also want to animate our $sign. So for that, I'm going to use the null object that we created. Let's turn on these 3 layers actually. Let's give it a different color so that we know that's one group. And we have, and I'll just close that up so we can see the animation. So what I'm going to do is go right here, select the null object and hit P, create a keyframe, also hit R, create a keyframe, hit U, go back, rotate this a little bit like so, and bring that down like that. So I'm gonna just pull that like so, and now we have a simple animation. But as you can see, the fill starts already at the beginning, so we need to move that a bit forward in time, so around here. So I'm going to select these 3 layers, pull them out, also the 100% text as well. So I'm going to pull that out, and then it starts to fill in. So I'm going to select these three layers. Let's stretch them out so it animates in, and then the percentage starts animating. So I need to actually move the marker as well, just like so. Also, I think I'm going to go with a Gilroy bold itself, and let's turn on the boldness. So that's looking good. Now we can animate a few things like the opacity of the percentage. So I'm gonna hit T, create a keyframe, go back to 2 seconds and set this to 0. Actually, let's go at the very start and set this to 0, hit F9, ease them. So we have a percentage filling up like so. Looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and add a nice feel to the animation as well. So I'm gonna hit U, select the keyframes, hit F9. Also, I'm gonna select the background layer as well, hit U, select the keyframes, hit F9, and then select these keyframes, go into graph editor and drag the handles to the left like so. So we have this really nice animation, as you can see. Also, I will add the same animation to the second layer, which I forgot to add. Control C, Control V. Boom, there we go, looking pretty nice. And now we can actually add a very simple or whichever kind of animation that you want to text. So I'm going to add an animation of position and opacity. So create a keyframe on both of these properties, go to 3 seconds, set the opacity to 0 and position a bit down like so. Select them, hit F9, go into the graph editor, and at the center I'm going to create kind of a peak like so. Pretty nice. And finally I will animate the accent S that we have. I'll probably bring down the opacity a bit. It's a bit too harsh, so something like 30% I think should be fine. And then hit P to bring down the position, create a keyframe, hit R to bring down the rotation, create a keyframe, hit U, and then go back to 2 seconds. Let's rotate this a bit and also pull that out of the frame. So I can select this, hit F9, go into graph, and let's drag the handles to the left. So now we have a nice animation, as you can see. And boom, there we have a modern and trendy looking infographic animation. And the best part about this infographic is, as I told you before, you can use different symbols, different icons, or even logos and create a very cool looking infographics. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram at dope.motions. And also hit that bell icon so you always get notified whenever I post a new video. So I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.